How's it going, everybody? My name is Trugus and welcome to another episode of Crossout. We now have the new patch, which is freaking exciting. I've been waiting for this patch for so long. There's a lot of beautiful changes. We covered some of them during the test server, but the test server didn't really show us everything, so we're going to do that today. Just have a look at what changed, what is upcoming, what is no more, what we will maybe see in clan wars, in general PvP, because a lot of different stuff has happened. So let's just get started with everything, shall we? First of all, I got a little build loaded up here with the incinerators, and the reason being is that we have the new pack, which is the pestilence pack. There we go. Basically, we're getting 2 flamethrowers. You've seen all of this multiple times. A lot of YouTubers covered this patch and the new items that we're getting, but you're getting this new flamethrower build. You get 2 flamethrowers, new flamethrowers that we haven't seen before, dealing a lot of damage. We have the new cabin, which boosts fire damage by quite a lot when you actually use the perk. Let's just have a look at all of the stats, storage, blight, parameters. There we go. Upon activation, increases fire damage by 50%, flamethrower range by 50%, flame powder size by 30%, and changes the flame's color to green for 10 seconds. Charges while moving. And what I'm really interested in is the increased fire damage by 50%, because 50% is actually a lot. So if we could go ahead and build ourselves a little vehicle just to show sort of what I mean. Please put those down together. We go ahead and grab our light. There we go. Use that one. Bam. Go ahead and grab some wheels. Put the wheels. Also, we have some new controls and cameras. You can see you have this fast pan, which I totally need to stop because control is also bound to. If you want to copy item, there you go, then you can have control down, so now your camera flies all over if you're used to doing that. That's another thing, that's a tiny little change. And then we need the incinerators, because fire damage on the incinerators now is actually so good. Let's just take this for a spin. Basically everything gets increased, so also the fire damage of the incinerator will get increased with the new cabin, and the fire damage by itself is decently deadly. The reason being that the fire puddle hits everything in that is affected inside of the range of the puddle. So your entire build will be on fire if you sit in a fire puddle, which is a tiny bit different for Dracos and firebox and stuff. It doesn't just shoot through everything. But what happens when I activate the perk? So there we go, throw that. Look at that freaking burn damage. Now I know this is a Leviathan with a lot of parts, but you sort of get the memo still. Those are some pretty huge numbers, and as you can see, every single armor part that is on this build has just fallen off. And this is the general theme with a new perk, that things really do burn for a lot of damage. 50% is a lot, considering that we also have up to 100% base damage when you sit in fire. So we're looking at some huge numbers here. Again, as you can see, everything just falls off. The build is fully stripped of all of its armor in what, 4 seconds? Was it 4 seconds? I think it was. So fire damage is really becoming deadly, and it's the thing that we have to take serious. I'm excited to see what kind of clan wars actually starts in an hour. So I'm excited to see what kind of builds we will be facing at the time, and see if there will be a lot of firebox and a lot of Draco, builds. By the looks of it, I think there is. But I mean, besides that, great cabins. So look at it, just amazing little hot rod horn. Sounds great, looks incredible. So all in all, a very nice new cabin. Besides that, we will always also have a lot of changes to a lot of weapons. Weapons have been changed in the way that they calculate the total power score. Look at the Mandrake 3200. It had, what was it, 2250 before, I think, but it's now 3200 power score for just a Mandrake. If we take a look at my wheeled Mandrake build, you see even here, no, I think it's on the exhibition, class of engineers. Oh yeah, we have some new build styles, I think. But besides that, let's just see if we have my Mandrake in here somewhere. There it is, 12,900 power score. This used to be 11,000 power score. It's now 12,900. I think it was 1100, maybe 11,800 or something, but it's a lot higher now. Let's just put it that way. The same thing goes if we go and check all of the different relic weapons. As you can now see, 3600 for the scope, 3600 for the Typhoon. These used to be 2400, so that's a 1200 power score upgrade on each weapon. Also meaning that, and this is a great news for a lot of you guys, we have a lot of people who are showing off these skins. Look at that, 10,600 power score in just a build with literally a cabin, an engine, an ammo box, and freaking 2 scorpions. It's you literally cannot bring 2 scorpions into below 10k, or you can, but it's gonna be a struggle if you want to have it on a hover still, which is what a lot of people prefer. Look at just one build with a scorpion and a cabin over 5,000 power score. So seal clubbing has to some extent been eliminated, which is great news for a lot of people. This will fix a lot of things, probably also change some things, because every weapon has had its power score changed a lot, and this also includes every other weapon basically. Yeah, you can go over them yourself, see if you have a favorite build you use to grind with. Actually, let's see if any of my builds here has changed a lot. 15,000 power score on the Helios. I think that is pretty much the same. The Mandrake build, 14,000.5. That's definitely changed. Hammer, my cannon hover is 16,200. That's also much higher than it used to be. So we've seen a lot of changes in my, generally these are a lot higher. This was 12,800, it's now 14,700. This was 12,500 something, it's now 14,600. So a lot of power score changes all over the game. So that is really, really nice. Cabins is still looking the same. They haven't touched that. I think it was for modules and weapons only that the changes were. But all in all, it's just great news for all of us. Besides that, we also have some changes to the harvester. Let's have a look at that. Now, where is the harvester? Where is the harvester? There you go. Looking at the harvester, let's just, oh yeah, I'm an idiot. We can't put that down because, yeah, parameters. There you go. Right now, the harvester, or at least in the old patch, you could actually grind people while you were in contact with them down here. But as far as I can tell from the patch notes, and we can actually test this. Let's go ahead and see. You could grind people, even though the moving parts, I think is what they're trying to call them, of the harvester was not in contact with anything. So if we create a build here, we can actually test this just to make sure that we're not saying anything that we cannot say. But I mean, what we want to do here is basically just see how the harvester will act. Let's try out here. Let's try to grind some of the different cars out here and see what happens. So the theory is that when I drive into them now, I cannot grind them, which I'm 99% sure that you could do before. Alright, you definitely still can. So they said they had fixed something like this in the patch notes. It was under misc changes, so miscellaneous, I cannot say that word, I'm not even going to try. Changes, and basically it just doesn't look like it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, look at that. No. Yeah, we are definitely still grinding away. We're not really hitting the parts there on the sides, so there is maybe some truth to it. Nah, they also fell off. We're definitely still grinding this build down. That's the main point. Yeah, so that is still what it used to be as far as it looks like. I'm not entirely sure about the change, so if you guys know more about it, do drop a comment down below and tell me about it. And now on to the last, but also in my opinion the most important thing that we gotta discuss, because from the looks of it, there will be some shifts in the meta, not to say like a lot of different shifts. So let's queue for a game here. And let's just do a game while we talk about it. But basically, we're looking at a shift in the meta, if you go ahead and ask me, because it looks like we are going to see a lot of firebugs soon. Also, there was some talk about the Scorpion being changed. This change has not been implemented. There's been a lot of discussion about the way that it hits frames. It still hits frames hard. They announced a change to the Scorpion's model some time ago. We haven't seen that either. They were going to make it smaller, I believe. This has not happened, but there hasn't really been any changes to the weapon. So is it still a good weapon? Yes, indeed. In all of this, we have the most meta weapon of 2019 when it comes to Clan Wars, which is indeed the Typhoon. And the Typhoon has also been changed. It has been hit by a direct 11% damage reduction. If you want to see numbers, we discussed them in the previous video. But basically, the new map. How convenient. Chemical plant. Oh my Jesus Christ, this looks beautiful. Can we see the enemy down there? Like, this map is so freaking huge. I have no clue. Let's see what happens. Would have been sick if we just copped the hit there in the first round. But nevertheless, oh, that was a terrible shot. But the Typhoon has been changed a lot. And those changes include 11% damage reduction, which is a huge change to the game, to the weapon. It's not just a minor nerf or anything, a minor change. It's an actual big change. I see someone coming in here, I think. Yep, there we go. And I'm also getting some lovely leg spikes. So we got the going force, which is nice. Appreciate that. But that dude has an Aegis, and that is one of the arguments of why this change is such a big impact for the Typhoon, because with the new changes, the Typhoon will actually be not be able to shred an Aegis in one hit unless you use the Icebox cabin. Now, I haven't 100% tested the damage here, but with the new changes, so I cannot for sure tell you the exact number of how much damage it deals. But some people said 297, and 297 will. That is for one cat. No, that cannot be true. I think it was maybe 247. Matter of fact, it could not one bang an Aegis anymore, and that was a big issue in a lot of guys, to a lot of people. But in my personal opinion, people should stop saying that the weapon is now more useless than the Tsunami, and we should just get Tsunamis and be fine with it, because that's just not how it works. Like, the Typhoon still has a huge stun. The Typhoon still has a hitbox that is about 1,000,000 times better than what we're looking at here. That was a nice hit, by the way, because the Tsunamis have a really awkward hitbox. You're not really able to kill anything, or not kill. I just killed a guy, or we almost killed a guy. That's why I said that. But you're not really able to armor the Tsunamis up as well as you are to armor up the Typhoons, because basically when you look at the Typhoons or the Tsunamis here, they have a really awkward hitbox, so I cannot really have anything in front of it or anything to the side of it, because if I do, then bam, the guns will only sit like this and I can't do anything about it. This does not happen with the Typhoon, which is one argument for why the Typhoon is so much better, because you can armor it. Well, needless to say, the Typhoon also has a lot more HP than a Tsunami does. Looking at the amount of Scorpions that we have right now, I'd rather have the Typhoon any day, because the Typhoon, first of all, it still deals more flat alpha damage, so you're gonna feel as if you're like, you'll just keep your guns longer and you're gonna deal more damage, versus a Scorpion. It's so much easier to degun if you just have a flat alpha damage, because personally when I play versus a Scorpion, I will always utilize the fact that the Scorpion does not do very well at close range, because it's just easier to hit them with the Typhoons, in my opinion, or Tsunamis for that matter. But it's just easy to 1v1 a Scorpion, in my opinion, because Scorpions are so fragile if you push them. And I would any days rather push with the Typhoon, because the Typhoon, 1, it has a stun, 2, it has more HP to survive if the Scorpion starts shooting back, and 3, as you can see, my hover is slowing down just a tiny bit more than it did before. And this means that now if a hover gets stunned, we still see a lot of hovers, you will actually be able to catch that dude. Let's see what happens if I let go here. Look at that, we no longer glide up. In the old patch, we would just glide up. So if you're trying to hunt down a guy and you have Typhoons and you're trying to hunt down a hover, he will actually slow down. He will not just glide. So the Typhoon will still be a major impact onto enemy players, especially on hovers. It's overall just an upgrade to the Tsunami. People need to stop saying otherwise. Then there's the argument of charging. To some extent, yes, if you're on a spider, but whenever you sit there and charge, you're allowing the enemy team to just push into you, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it if you sit still. If you're a team that tries to defend, well, then they're going to be a man down, because you were busy charging your Tsunamis rather than helping fighting. So there is no real big damage bonus to charging. Besides that, it takes 5 seconds to charge your Tsunami shot, so you can shoot like 1.86 Typhoon shots for every time you can shoot one Tsunami shot. Not really, because you also have to reload your Tsunami, so I guess that sort of adds up. But you can see it takes time. It's really hard to charge in hovers. So all in all, I don't really buy the arguments of the Tsunami being better. I think it's people who wants to be mad because their guns got nerfed, which I also find as a valid reason, because it sucks spending so much time grinding for a weapon and then it gets nerfed. But it is what it is. Finally, we are looking at a change to the Firebox, and the Firebox have gotten 540 durability from 4.6. So I think we're going to see a lot of those in Clan Wars, but we'll have to wait and see. Clan Wars starts in 30 minutes. That is a fact. So I'm going to end the video here, let the discussion keep on going. We just covered some of my thoughts on the new patch. The new map is beautiful. Fire is going to be interesting. Typhoons is still better, in my opinion. tsunamis relax a bit. It's not really that serious yet. And I think that was it. Go buy the new pack if you want an awesome pack. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, have an awesome day. Bye.